everyone, and welcome to another episode of Horror Battle. This week's monster matchup pits the Xenomorph Queen from Aliens against the ritually summoned demon, Pumpkinhead. Let me say that this particular fight got over 150 votes across Twitter and various Death Battle minos, so thank you for all of that. If you'd like to participate and take part in the voting, you can look for the poll for the next episode on my Twitter right here. Stay tuned after the outro to get a sneak peek at the next combatants. Now, using the feedback from the first horror battle, I'll be trying to add a bit more to the descriptor of each battle so that their capabilities are better known and fleshed out. So, starting with this video, I'll be breaking down each combatant's abilities into 5 different categories: physical strength, physical durability, special abilities, equipment, and tactics. I'd love some feedback on how breaking up these categories helped to flesh out the fighters, and how it helped to better structure the video. So please leave comments below on how I can continue to improve this series. With that out of the way, let's jump into the battle and check out the physical capabilities of this week's combatants. A typical Xenomorph Queen stands approximately 15 feet tall and weighs in at several hundred pounds. Queens have extremely dense muscle structures and are capable of extreme feats of strength, such as tearing synthetic humanoids in half with ease, plowing through several feet of concrete in a charge, smashing through 2-foot-thick steel mechanized doors in only a few blows, slicing through thick trees with their tails, quickly tunneling through thick Arctic ice, and snapping steel poles in half. Pumpkinhead is a demon that stands around 10 to 12 feet tall with a humanoid figure. It has demonstrated immense strength enough to slice down trees, tear through engine blocks, lift motorcycles easily with a single hand, casually lift full-grown humans with its tail, and send humans flying several yards with a single backhand. Both combatants are complete powerhouses, and as far as combat strength goes, are so close that I'm giving them a tie with a score of 2-2. Yes, the Queen has more mass and can smash her way through thick objects, but Pumpkinhead could likely perform similar feats given what we've seen it capable of. Pumpkinhead usually doesn't have to, however. More on that later. Xenomorph Queens are extremely durable. Their dense muscle and hard carapace make them stubborn combatants. Queens can withstand tons of self-imposed punishment when they smash through wood, concrete, or even steel. They can weather enormous amounts of automatic gunfire before needing to retreat, and are even highly fire resistant. Basic firearms and melee weapons have very little hope of piercing a Xenomorph Queen's carapace. Those specialized heavy weapons wielded by Yautja or other Xenomorph natural weapons have been shown capable of getting through their armor. Pumpkinhead is something of a mixed bag in the durability department. While its body can be easily damaged by normal weaponry, it also almost instantaneously heals any damage done to it. It has been shot, stabbed, and hit with vehicles. While the demon was affected by these injuries, it also was able to generally ignore the wounds or recover from them within moments while it quickly healed from them. Also, whenever the person who summoned Pumpkinhead is injured, the demon suffers the same injury. Injuries that Pumpkinhead suffers this way tend to linger for longer periods of time, but no more than several moments before it recovers and is able to continue its task. Both of these combatants are extremely durable in their own way, but in the end, I think the Xenomorph Queen claims a very slight edge with a score of 2-1. Xenomorph Queens aren't supernatural beings by any means, in their own universe anyway. However, that does not preclude them from some unique abilities due to their biology. A queen's large cranial crest allows her extrasensory advantages, allowing her to sense thermal, biochemical, and bioelectrical signals with great sensitivity. Queens also seem to be able to communicate with their drones and soldiers over great distances. While the way they do this is unknown, Weyland-Yutani researchers believe it to be a kind of bioelectrical hive consciousness that allows a queen to send its orders to the rest of the hive. On the flip side, Pumpkinhead has a slew of special abilities to cover. We've already spoken about its extreme healing factor, now let's take a look at its other abilities. Pumpkinhead has preternatural tracking, meaning that it can sense where certain things are at all times. In this case, Pumpkinhead is able to track 2 specific things. The first is the person who summoned it, and the second is the thing, or things, it was summoned to kill. After that, it has a form of telepathy in that it shares its thoughts and pain with its summoner, and vice versa. Whenever it or its summoner is injured, the other suffers similar injuries in the form of mental anguish. Pumpkinhead can also teleport to the general area where its target, or its summoner, is generally located. Pumpkinhead can also sprout a large set of wings in order to fly at impressive speeds. Also, while not a special ability, the general area where Pumpkinhead is experiences a strange storm with flashes of lightning, claps of thunder, strong winds, and crackling sounds, with no actual source. I don't think it's difficult to say that Pumpkinhead comes away with a very strong lead in the special abilities category, with a score of 0 to 2. This section is going to be quick because neither of these combatants ever go into battle with any actual equipment. However, the Xenomorph Queen will get a slight edge since the Queen only ever goes into battle as a last resort to save or avenge her hive. Because of this, it means that the Queen's hive will be something she will have available to her to begin the battle. And this will give her a small 1 to 0 edge in the equipment section of the battle. With a surprising amount of cunning and intelligence, Xenomorph Queens don't display much in the way of tactics. They have been shown to perform the occasional sneak attack under certain circumstances. However, they prefer to charge in and engage their foes in direct combat. And a Queen's charge is nothing to scoff at, as they can easily reach speeds of around 40 miles per hour, or 63 kilometers per hour. A Queen slamming into an opponent at this speed is like a small car hitting her target, except with, more biting and tearing involved. Queens are also surprisingly agile for their size and capable of dodging much faster than one might anticipate. They prefer to claw and tear at their opponents with their large arms while they attempt to surprise their prey with impaling strikes from their tails. As large as a queen can be, it should be no surprise that their attacks can come from a surprising number of angles at the same time. Swiping claws strike from the front, dangerous bites from above, tail strikes from either the side or even behind you, and there's always the chance that she will try to trample you underfoot. While queens may not be calculating fighters, they naturally understand how to use their capabilities in ferocious, brutal, continuous attacks until the threat to their hive is removed. On the flip side, Pumpkinhead is a cunning and calculating creature. It chooses how to best approach situations and will use different tactics to claim its targets. It knows to destroy vehicles to stop its targets from escaping, will attack from unexpected places and angles, set traps that prey on human emotion, and has no qualms about using its durability to charge in when necessary. Heck, it's even been known to play dead just to trick its prey into coming closer to it. However, because it is a demon summoned to punish others, it typically takes its time to terrorize its victims before it kills them. So, while it can use a large variety of tactics and abilities, it typically plays with its food, as it were. This isn't to say that Pumpkinhead can't just outright kill its prey, that's just not what it normally does, though it will whenever the situation calls for it. In the end, I give the edge in tactics to Pumpkinhead with a score of 0 to 2. So let's go ahead and set up this fight. Weyland-Yutani spent billions in credits and hundreds in lives to obtain their prize, a Xenomorph Queen. The data they had collected proved that a single drone could alter itself into a queen in order to set up a hive, but little was known about the queen's individual combat and survival prowess. Humans, and even the formidable Yautja, proved almost no challenge for even xenomorph drones. So this time, the company decided to test the queen against something that most thought to be rumor, but which sufficient data proved to be true: a supernatural demonic foe. The queen was transported to the deep backwoods of the southern United States, which were still quite rural by all standards, and the locals were still quite superstitious. Only hours after the queen was released, her slaughter began, and hours after that, at least one of the locals did as predicted and summoned the demon Pumpkinhead. Now the company was able to sit back, watch this battle, and collect data. Which of these two powerful resources would prove to be the deadliest? Well, the Xenomorph Queen comes away with the win after receiving 84% of the votes. I'm guessing this was such a stomp in the votes because of how popular the Alien franchise is compared to how small the Pumpkinhead franchise is, and how little is actually known about the creature. However, I can't agree with the votes this time. While the two monsters may be similarly matched physically, Pumpkinhead has a solid edge with its ability to strategize and regenerate, and because it will always know where the queen is, Pumpkinhead won't be getting surprise attacked. This isn't to say that Pumpkinhead will have an easy win though. The queen's hive will make it slow going, and their acidic blood will certainly give the demon pause the first few times. Add to that the queen's physical power, and Pumpkinhead will most certainly have its hands full. But I honestly believe that Pumpkinhead would come away with a very slim win, with the total scores coming to a narrow 5 to 7 in Pumpkinhead's favor. That's going to do it for this episode of Horror Battle. Did you agree or disagree with the results? Let me know down in the comments, and be sure to stick around till after the intro to see a sneak peek at next episode's combatants. I hope you all have a great day, and as always, stay positive.